Hi, everybody, and welcome to this month's live training. Hope you're keeping very well. Hope you're keeping very safe. And first of all, a big apology because I got the time wrong. I sent out an email an hour ago saying we're getting started in 15 minutes. You see, daylight saving time is different in Europe than it is to the US. And there's a couple of weeks at this time of year where there's the difference between Irish time and EST is only 4 hours. For the rest of the year, it's 5 hours. So just a very short period of time. So I got I totally messed up. But I sent another email 15 minutes ago saying, yes, we're really getting started. So apologies for that. So I hope you're keeping really well. Very excited about today's session because it's a subject that's very close to my heart, all about creativity. And the title is, what is the title? Title, Creativity, Get What You Want More Easily. And right now, times are challenging. The last year has been incredibly challenging for everyone. And there's a lot of fear still a lot of uncertainty, job losses, lockdowns, economy going crazy. And I think now more than ever before, we need to think more creatively. We need to be more creative and more productive, and when I really believe in minimum effort, maximum result. If, we all work very hard, sometimes you can run around chasing your own tail. Sometimes you can work really hard and not make much progress in your goals. You know what? You're probably hearing him meowing behind me. I'm going to let a little pussycat in because if I don't, this will just go on and on and on. Come in, Teddy. I have a little pussycat. Well, we've got three cats, and this particular fella, he's extremely friendly. In fact, he has a bed up on my desk beside me. He's on the bed on the floor, and if I don't let him in, he's going to be pestering me for the next hour, and all you hear is meow, meow, meow in the background. So things will be quieter now that he's in the room. So yeah, I mean, minimum effort, maximum result. We can work very, very hard, and as I say, most people do. But how much do they progress their goals? How much do we progress the things that we? Oh, here he is. This is Teddy jumping up on top of my laptop there. There you go. So how much effort we can put into things, how much effort we need to put into things, it's really dependent on how creative we are. If we're not very creative, everything takes a lot more effort. And if we're very creative, we can get a lot more done more easily. So I have a question for you before we get started, because I'm going to, in a few minutes from now, I'm going to switch video cameras. I'm going to be in front of the big screen with my clicker, and I'm going to blank out this camera. But before we get started, right into the heart of this presentation, on a scale, I just want to ask you this because I want to gain some sort of understanding of where people are at this point in time, and then I can maybe adjust how I present according to people's needs. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how creative have you been in the past 3 months? If you're very creative, give yourself a high rating, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you don't feel very creative over the past 3 months, give yourself a lower rating, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 0. If you're not creative at all. And I'm going to look in the chat box, because the chat box is on the right-hand side of the screen, and you can enter your responses there. And I'm going to feed back to you what people are saying. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how creative have you been in the past 3 months? 7, 8, 9, 10 for a high rating, or low rating, lower. So I'm just looking at people's responses here. Okay, 7, 5, another 5, 9, 6. Okay, so no matter what your number is, I'm going to help you boost your creativity quite dramatically. In fact, I'm going to show you 10 ways to hugely stimulate your creativity. Because when you're more creative, when you are, what would you say, we all have this amazing wisdom within us. And when you are able to connect with that wisdom more powerfully, it can change a lot in our lives in a very, very positive and powerful way. And I have another question. On a scale of 1 to 10, again, how productive have you been in the past month? Not the past 3 months, the past month. If you've been really productive, getting lots of things done, progressing all your goals, progressing your projects, really crushing it at work, give yourself a high rating, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you feel you're not very productive in the past month, give yourself a low rating. I'm seeing numbers coming in. In fact, the system I'm using, it's amazing because I'm seeing chat come in from Facebook and YouTube, a couple of different Facebook profiles and YouTube and various other different places. So this is being in several places all at once. So if you can't see anything coming up in the chat, it's probably because if you're on YouTube, actually, there's nothing coming in from YouTube at this moment. But other Facebook, there's quite a few responses coming in here. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how productive have you been in the past month? And I'm seeing, yeah, as I say, 7, 8, 7, 9, 6. So I'm going to help you be more productive as well as being a lot more creative. So, you know, a lot of really powerful how-to information. And if you're joining us for the first time today, you think, what's this Secrets of Success mentoring program? What is the Secrets of Success? Well, it's my monthly online training program. We get together like this once a month, people all around the world, people who want to improve their lives and be more successful and just get ahead faster. Because there's so much conflicting information out there. And every month, I teach strategies, tools, and techniques, success and goal achievement strategies, tools, and techniques that have been scientifically proved to work. So this stuff absolutely works if you put it into practice. And so let's see. Okay, so I'm going to move over there in front of the other video camera. And this camera will go blank for a moment, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, and then the other one will spring to life. So don't go away, just one moment. Just bear with me. I'm going to blank out this camera here and mic. Just 1 second. Hi everybody, and welcome to this month's live training. And we've got a lot of great content lined up for you today. And the topic today, it's all about creativity. All about creativity. Creativity, get what you want more easily, because you know what? Everything starts in your mind. Everything that you bring to manifestation in the world starts in your mind as an idea. So the more creative you can become, the more creative you are, the more amazing things that you can create in your life, you bring into your life according to how your mind operates. And we're going to look at that in great detail. Before we get into that, before we get started, dip into what we covered last month, because every month there are new members of the Secrets of Success joining. I rebranded from the Ultimate Success Club to the Secrets of Success because it's more descriptive of what we're doing. I'm sharing, what would you say, strategies, success strategies, tools and techniques that have been scientifically proved to work. These are not things, pie in the sky things. These have been scientifically proved to work and have worked for millions of other people all around the world, and they can work for you too, providing you put them into practice. So what did we cover last month? Firstly, why you must eliminate the fears holding you back. Fears are one of the biggest reasons why people don't experience wonderful lives. And also the amazing benefits of being more courageous and the importance of a positive mental attitude. This is the core of everything that I teach each month, a positive mental attitude. And also how to become solution focused rather than problem focused, which most people are, and how to experience deep lasting happiness. And we found that, well, according to research, happiness is a choice, and that we are as happy as we decide to be. Happiness is not dependent on something wonderful happening or something bad going away from your life, or if this happens, that's just putting off happiness to the future. And studies have found that happiness is actually a decision. Okay, and we also looked at how to generate courage and achieve what others can't, because when you have more courage, you can achieve what others can't. As I said at the beginning, the one thing that stops most people from achieving the better things in life is fear. Fear. Okay, so that was last month, and you can check out last month's training. It's available in the members area. All the recordings and replays are there. So what are we going to cover today? All about creativity. We're going to look at the money-making power of your own ideas. You have amazing ideas locked up in your own mind that you may not even be aware of right now, that can give you all the riches that you could wish for in life. Whether that's financial riches or any other, well, riches and wealth, true riches, true wealth, not just money. Oh no, 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 no. If you're chasing after money all the time, this has happened to so many highly successful people, multimillionaires, billionaires. They have been working, to make piles of money, and they arrive there, they feel no different. So true riches, much, much broader than that. Money is only a way of freeing up your time and enabling you to do things that most people can't. That's all it is. It's a form of freedom. But unless you're free in other ways in your mind, you may be miserable. If you make a lot of money, you may be miserable. So true wealth and true abundance, true riches, finance is only a tiny aspect of it. Tiny aspect. So anyway, I'm going to share with you the money-making power of your own ideas, if that's what you're chasing after. The easy way to start thinking like a genius. We all have this possibility within us, and I'll show you how to do that, and also how to tap into an unlimited reservoir of creativity that lies in your own mind. We have an amazing resource, every single human being on the planet, to tap into this amazing reservoir of creativity. You have it within you. I'll show you the implications of this and how to access it. Okay, and also 10 ways to powerfully stimulate your creative flow. Not just one, 10 ways. Okay, and also how to boost your energy and combat stress, and 10 questions that can make you more productive. Because everything I teach each month, it's not about working like crazy and really working hard. No, 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 no. This is about working smart. Minimum effort, maximum result. Minimum effort, maximum result. So the big, when you're highly productive, it means that you can get a lot more done more easily, more quickly, with less stress. And I'm going to share with you 10 questions you can ask of yourself that will help you be more productive and reduce stress and be more alive. Amazing, but this is the power of questions. So why are these things even important? Why are they even relevant? Well, firstly, you'll be able to achieve a level of success that others cannot, because they don't know these things. Simple as that. And you'll have greater power to get what you want. Honestly, you have all the resources within you right now to achieve a life that most people can only dream about. But it just doesn't come about by accident. It comes about by small, consistent efforts added up over time can yield incredible results. But not just any old efforts. You need to know exactly what you're doing. Get really clear on what you want and follow a plan that works. And then you can bring your dreams into reality. It's actually that simple. It's actually that simple. You just use a formula that works and just make a little bit of progress every week, and huge things can happen. So, and you also have to, you'll be able to improve your personal life and your career, and you can achieve all your goals faster without reducing stress. So this is why all these things are so important, fundamentally important. So first of all, a question for you.
Are success and wealth created through hard work? Well, the reality is most people work really hard, but they're almost broke, or they are broke. If hard work alone created wealth, then every manual laborer would be filthy rich, but they're not. When we look at this more deeply, success and wealth are actually created in your mind. Success and wealth are created in our minds. It's as simple as that. So your mind, as I said earlier, contains everything you need, everything that you need to achieve the sort of life that you yearn for. You can use your mind to create anything you want. Sounds amazing. How is that possible? It is possible, and this is the reason why most people just live lives of mediocrity, because they don't know these things. They don't know these things. It's often the simplest things are the most profound. It's often the simplest things that give the biggest results. You know, that 80-20 rule. 20% of our efforts yield 80% of our results. It's true. It's true. So I'm giving you the 20% every month that can give you 80% of your results, maybe even more. So your mind contains everything that you need, and you can use it to achieve anything you want, providing you know how to tap into its potential. And most people don't. And I'm going to be sharing with you 10 ways to do this today. So everything that exists, this is fact. Everything that exists, apart from, nature, everything that exists in the world started as an idea in the mind of a single human being. Walk down the street. Every lamppost, every car, every building, bit of trash, rubbish on the street, everything you see around you, apart from trees, but they may have been planted by human beings, everything started in the mind of a single human being. And then that single human being works with other human beings to bring it to reality. It's very easy to overlook this fact, but it's true. Everything that exists started in the mind of a single human being. So ideas are the source of everything. Without ideas, we can't manifest anything in the physical world around us. Everything starts as an idea. So let's look at the power of ideas. This is Napoleon Hill. I mention him frequently. He was the author of Think and Grow Rich, written about 100 years ago. One of the greatest one of the greatest books ever written. Bestseller today, after almost 100 years. And his book has been instrumental in creating millions upon millions upon millions of highly successful people. His book was so influential and has the potential to totally transform people's lives that even Mahatma Gandhi had millions of copies given to people all around India. So, and in the beginning, in the first few chapters, the first few pages of the book, there are something like 50 or 100 really well-known people, scientists, inventors, and really highly successful people who endorse the book that the reader is about to read, including Edison and the inventor or the creator of the first cars. It's just all these names, all giving their seal of approval that this is how they created such amazing success and breakthroughs in their lives, that this is the formula. So, okay, so he said, this is what Napoleon Hill said, Dr. Alexander Graham Bell and Dr. Elmer R. Gates observed that every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. Oh, that's interesting. Is that true? Actually, Alexander Graham Bell was he was credited with the creation of the first telephone. Actually, a relative of mine, a distant ancestor. So he's saying Dr. Alexander Graham Bell and Dr. Elmer R. Gates observed that every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. And you know what? There have been countless experiments in telepathy that have proved that our thoughts can influence and affect other people. I've done experiments in this myself, and it's absolutely true. That is a scientific, what would you say, fact at this point. And if you would think, no, it's not, it's sort of airy-fairy new age. No, it's not. It's been scientifically proved, end of story. Really. And if you think that it's airy-fairy new age trash, rubbish, you just haven't studied these scientific studies. You haven't looked at the evidence, and it's there, you know. So that's what he said about 80, 90 years ago. And also he says, through the medium of the ether, in a fashion similar to that employed by the radio broadcasting principle, every human being is capable of picking up vibrations of thought that are being released by other brains. As I say, telepathy. And he also said, thought which has been modified or stepped up by any of the major emotions vibrates at a much higher rate than ordinary thought. And it is this type of thought which passes from one brain to another through the broadcasting machinery of the human brain. You've heard me say this so many times. Our dominant thoughts and dominant emotions create the circumstances of our life. He's talking about emotion, the power of emotion. Emotion is what transmits our thoughts out into the universe and are reflected back in our circumstances. So I'm absolutely convinced from my own personal experience that what Napoleon Hill is saying here is absolutely correct. So, and to prove the point, this may sound extraordinary, and it is, major breakthroughs occur simultaneously around the world. How's that even possible? Today, information travels so quickly that if somebody has a breakthrough and announces it, well, other people can jump on the bandwagon like that. But 100, 200 years ago, breakthroughs and information travels so slowly. It takes weeks for information and breakthroughs to get from one end of the globe to the other, or the knowledge of such things. News travelled so slowly back then. Anyway, so back in 1922, that's 99 years ago, William Ogburn and Dorothy Thomas created the first list of 148 major world inventions and discoveries that occurred simultaneously around the world. As I say, information traveled very slowly back then. But it's like suddenly ideas came into the minds of inventors all around the world at exactly the same time. As we will discover, first of all, Newton and Leibniz both discovered calculus. Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace both discovered evolution, or came up with the idea. 3 mathematicians invented decimal fractions. Oxygen was discovered in 1773 and 1774. As I say, information travelled very slowly back then, by Joseph Priestley in England and Carl Wilhelm Scheele in Sweden. Colour photography was invented at the same time by Charles Cros and Louis Ducos de Hauron in France. Logarithms were invented by John Napier and Henry Briggs in Britain, and Just Bergy in Switzerland. In 1611 there were 4 independent discoveries of sunspots in Italy, Germany, Holland and England. The law of the conservation of energy was discovered 4 times independently in 1847, and at least 6 inventors of the telescope. 6! Thermometer. And 9 people claim to have invented the telescope. 9 people. And Alexander Graham Bell Elisha Gray and Antonio Meucci all invented the telephone at the same time. This is a fact. The only reason that Alexander Graham Bell got the credit for it, even though he was one of my ancestors, and I'm related to him, is that he got his patent in just, I think it was something like 30 minutes before one of the other guys. So it's sometimes the person who gets the credit for the invention wasn't the first to think of it or think about it. But this is what I'm saying here. It's like ideas come into people's minds at exactly the right time, at exactly the same time when society can utilize that idea. Okay? And also even radio was invented by both Nikola Tesla and Marconi at the same time. And this, so the question is, are ideas in the air? Are there, well, not literally in the air, but are ideas out there? And they come into our mind from, you might say, external sources. Certainly my own experiences make me think so. And it seems as though, from that last study that I showed you, and what Napoleon Hill said all those years ago, ideas seem to appear in many people's minds at the same time, especially when they can be used by society. Okay? So is it possible to tap into creative ideas? That's the promise I made you at the beginning of this episode, this live training. 10 ways to tap into creative ideas. 10 ways. So you can, it says you can tap into unlimited creative ideas using your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is everything. Your subconscious mind controls everything that happens to you. The beating, okay, we think of the subconscious mind as just the part of us that controls all our bodily functions, like the beating of our heart and the breathing of our lungs and the secretion of different hormones in the body, and that, the brain, it's all controlled by the subconscious mind. You don't have to will your heart to beat or your lungs to breathe. If you fell asleep, you'd die. So none of these things are under conscious control. Can be influenced through conscious control, but not your subconscious mind is the boss of all those things. It controls, it regulates all those things. But your subconscious mind is also a reservoir of unlimited creativity. Unlimited creativity, and great artists are people who can tap into that, their subconscious mind. And really, if you want to become really successful in life and really live a wonderfully happy and fulfilling life of abundance and deep fulfillment, you must become an expert at tapping into the creativity of your own subconscious mind. You must become at least proficient at that to some level. Okay, and I'm going to share 10 ways to do this. And you must become an expert at influencing your subconscious to create the life you want. Because even though your subconscious mind is a reservoir of unlimited wisdom, ideas and creativity, it's also, you can pass instructions to your subconscious mind that will have major effects on your life. Your subconscious mind really, it's like a giant supercomputer, and it works on programs. Suggestions that you've repeatedly given to your subconscious mind with emotion creates patterns, creates literally programs that keep running. This is why conditioning can wreck people's lives. If you hear the same thing as a child again and again, you're useless, you never amount to anything, you're useless, and that makes you feel sad. Repetition and emotion, it goes into the subconscious mind and it's lodged there as a pattern that just repeats itself, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's awful. The biggest reason, I said at the very beginning that fears are one of the biggest reasons why people don't achieve their goals. It is, but biggest of all, I think, are limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. All these limiting beliefs that rattle around in our subconscious mind determine what we can create in our life and what we can't create in our life. So all of the time I'm teaching ways to powerfully, but very simply, influence your subconscious mind with new patterns that will bring about the things that you want in your life, and ways to gradually eliminate all the limiting beliefs that you do carry within you. We all do. And you'll never get rid of limiting beliefs entirely, but you can weaken them, and in many cases eliminate them completely. But our lives are so complex and our subconscious mind is so vast, there'll always be some form of limiting belief, or we may form it even if we don't have it right now. Just repeated thoughts and emotions create our life. Okay, so you must become an expert at two things: tapping into the creativity of your subconscious mind and influencing your subconscious mind to create the life you want. So your ideas create your life. You heard me say this so many times. What you can imagine, you can achieve. What you can imagine, you can achieve. Everything starts with an idea. Success is created through your ideas. So is great failure. So is great hardship. All repeated thoughts, okay, with emotion. Amazing ideas that changed the world came as flashes of inspiration into people's minds. As we saw that, scientists all around the world getting the same idea at the exact same time. Amazing. And you have a limitless source of life-changing ideas locked inside you right now. All you need to do is know how to tap into it. And you can tap into this source of unlimited ideas. I'm going to show you how. You just need to know how to access them. And as I say, I'm going to show you how. 10 ways. So how to tap into this unlimited source of ideas that is locked within you. Well, these are 10 powerful techniques that will allow you to access your creative inner genius. You might think that genius is all about the conscious mind. It's not. A true genius is someone who can not just use their rational thinking, conscious mind in a powerful way, but also tap into this reservoir of ideas. And then the combination of these brain waves, these flashes of inspiration or intuition or creativity, coupled to their strong ability to think logically with deep insight, amazing things can happen. Amazing things can happen. So, but everyone has the ability to tap into this creative inner genius, and it'll astound you. So the first technique, this is technique number 1. This is Thomas Edison. Looks very stern there. I think he probably was. Yeah, I don't think he was probably the nicest person in the world. He was a genius. He did invent lots of things, but he had a huge team behind him of other inventors. Of course, he would, I believe, always take credit for the inventions that his scientists would come up with. But anyway, look, that's the way of the world, I suppose. So this is the Thomas Edison method. And whether you like the guy or not, well, he did change the world. He's the inventor of the incandescent light bulb. And 10,000 attempts. I think it was not just him, but also his team. Eventually, but he kept persisting. There is a way, we will do this. And after 10,000 attempts, 10,000 failures, it was successful, and it's lit our, the incandescent light bulb has, lighted up our streets and our homes for over 100 years. Thanks to this guy's vision. Okay, at least his vision and persistence. So this I call the Thomas Edison catnap technique. Basically, what you do is, the step 1, you plant firmly in your subconscious mind the problem to which you need the solution. Because let me just backtrack. He used this method to come up with the solutions to problems he couldn't figure out with his conscious mind. If he was stumped by a technical problem, he just couldn't figure it out, he would hand it over to his subconscious mind to give him the answer. So what he would do is he would think about the problem, and he would tell his subconscious mind, I expect a solution, I will have a solution, and then he would fall asleep, fully believing, getting himself into that state of belief that he would have a solution on awakening. And he would take a cat nap for 30 minutes, 1 hour or so, And he'd waken up, and very often the exact technical solution to the problem was lodged there in his mind. And I've tried this. One of the times I tried this, it totally changed my entire business. Oh, incredible. We all have this capability within us. So step one, plant firmly in your mind the problem to which you need a solution. Step two, request a solution from your subconscious mind. Step three, summon up firm belief or faith that you will get a solution from your subconscious mind on awakening. It's almost like you're creating artificial belief. You're fooling yourself that you're definitely going to get an answer. You get yourself into this state where you totally believe that you're going to get an answer, even if it's only temporary belief. That you put yourself in a state where you fully convince yourself you're going to get an answer. That's kind of important. Not a hope for an answer, but you get yourself into an excited state. Yes, I'm going to get an answer. I'm going to, and believe it just for that period of time. Okay, so summon up firm belief or faith that you will get a solution from your subconscious mind on awakening. And step four, relax or go to sleep for 30 minutes to 1 hour. And step five, the solution will come to you on awakening, or may come in another form over the next few days. Things you observe. Suddenly I think, that's the solution. Things start to click. You know, I tried this, I don't know, it was about 7-10 years ago. I had a serious business problem. Serious business problem. It was costing me, at that time, about 300 euros or $320 a day in losses. Okay, I was making profit, but it was eating into those profits by $320 a day. It's a lot. That's a hell of a lot of money over 1 year. And I went to my accountant, my CPA, and I said, look, what can we do here? And he said, Mike, I don't see a solution. He said, you're going to need to go to a very specialized type of person who can give you advice, because I can't see any solution. So I hired an an expert for the whole of the European Union on this specific type of topic. And they said, oh, Mike, I'm sorry, there's no solution to this. I said, I know there's a solution. I can feel it. I said, well, she said, well, good luck, but, I'm really sorry. I know you've hired me, but I can't see a solution to this. I said, okay, well, maybe I'll get back to you if I come up with my own solution. She said, you do that, and I'll tell you if it's workable or not. So I was disappointed. I was really browned off, pissed off. Oh, no. Serious amount of loss every day. And I put to my subconscious mind, I went to bed early one night, about 10:30, and I thought about the problem, how it was upsetting me so much. And so I focused on the problem, and then I handed it over to my subconscious mind, my higher self. Give me an answer. And give me the solution on awakening. And I got myself into this sort of, I'm going to get an answer. That, all, as I say, artificially, almost, excitedly fooling yourself, you're going to get an answer. And then I went to sleep. 10:30, thereabouts. And I woke up just, I thought it was the next morning. But I didn't feel it was the next morning. I didn't. My first feelings were not, that wasn't very much sleep. But then instantly into my mind, I had the answer. And I looked at my phone. 20 minutes had passed. I'd been asleep for 20 minutes, and there was the solution in my mind. And holy shit, this is unbelievable. Wow, it should do. And I was thinking, wow. And I phoned my accountant the next morning and said, hey, what do you think? Is this workable? He said, oh my goodness, where did you get this? This is the solution. He said, this is ethical, this is legal, this fulfills every possibility. Where did you get this idea? I said, just came to me. Just came to me. Said, my goodness, this is amazing. So I phoned up this EU expert on this particular type of advice that I needed, and I said to her, how about this? And she said, oh my goodness, well done for being so persistent. How did you get this? I said, just the idea came to me. She said, I'm flabbergasted. This is incredible. It fulfills all your legal obligations, and it totally, completely and utterly overcomes the problem. Well done. I felt like saying, well, why didn't you come up with this idea? But it's that mind-blowing. You have the answers within you to all sorts of problems. It's amazing how, we forget that we have these abilities. I was going through this worry for months until I thought, hang on, I'll use my subconscious mind here. I don't know why I didn't think of it before that. But, sometimes there's a lot of learning in going down, what would you say, alleyways that are pretty painful. The more pain, the more you learn from the experience, and the more unforgettable the solution will become, and then you can share it with others like I'm doing now. So that created a lot of value, that situation. So you have this ability within you to come up with the solutions to any problem in your life. Any problem, okay? Test it out. Okay, do it correctly though. Do the 5 steps. So this technique is simple yet very effective when done correctly. Thomas Edison technique, mind-blowing stuff. So that's technique number 1. Technique number 2, I love mind maps. The mind mapping method. So what is this? So, you use a mind map to stimulate your creativity. When I started speaking publicly, I don't know, 20 years ago, thereabouts, a little bit. If I was giving a talk on a certain subject, what I do is I put the topic of the talk on the center of an A4 page, get my pen out, and then everything that I wanted to talk about, I just write it down anywhere on the page. And then what I found was that the more things I wrote down the page, the more ideas I would have, and it would turn into, 5 or 6 ideas would turn into 30 or 40 ideas quite quickly. So it's like the idea of getting ideas out of your mind stimulates more ideas, more creativity. And then later on I would rearrange them on the page into logical order. Okay, so that I would talk about this first and these other related things, and then come at it from this angle. And I write my books the same way. Start with the topic in the middle. And then, planning it out, everything from the content of the book to how I'm going to market it, and all, mind mapping is a wonderful way of stimulating creativity. And the reason is mind maps work in the same way as your brain. And that's why they're so effective. They work in the same way as the neural pathways forming in the brain. And they get you into a creative mind state where literally ideas flow effortlessly. So just the act of get pen and paper will start stimulating your creative flow. Or you can use software. I use some nice software. There's lots of free software. I use a program called iMindMap Ultimate. It's changed its name recently. I think it's Iowa. It's become something much bigger. But I just use the mind mapping element of it, which is amazing. So how do you do mind mapping? Well, first of all, step 1, you start with the central idea or goal, put it in the center of the page or the center of the screen if you're using software. And step 2 is brainstorm steps that can help you reach that goal. Okay, so you can use this in goal setting, or as I say, creating books or talks or anything, any project that you're working on. Okay, start with the central idea in the middle, and then brainstorm everything related to it. Or if you're applying it to goal setting, put your goal in the middle of the page and then brainstorm steps that will help you to achieve it. Okay, and step 3, write down in any order as they come to your mind. It doesn't matter, the page will look like a disaster by the time you're finished with it. You'll be writing all over it. That's great. Okay, step 4, reorder those ideas or steps logically by linking them together. And step 5, as you see the map starting to take shape, more ideas will start coming into your mind. Mind mapping is just amazing, and anyone can do it. And Sometimes the most profound things are the simplest, and they can be easily overlooked. But mind mapping is a gift, okay, gift to everyone. So this is a very simple way to get ideas for any project, no matter how complex. And you know what? When one of the reasons why people don't achieve their goals is they have a big goal or a medium-sized goal, and then they start thinking, oh my goodness, where do I start? I could do this. Oh, it's just too big. And they give up. This is a way to break it down into simple little micro steps. Amazing stuff. That's technique number 2. Technique number 3, I need some water. This is your very good health. And this is the 10 ideas method. What? 10 ideas? Well, day 1, write out 10 ideas for improving, for example, your physical health, okay? Day number 2, write out 10 ideas to create better emotional health. You think, what? Just, first day, ask yourself, what 10 things could I do to improve my physical health? And you'll get all sorts of ideas will come to you. Things that you wouldn't have even considered. Next day, do it for your emotional health. This will improve your life dramatically. These are just tapping into what's already in there. Number 3, write out 10 ideas that could improve your finances. Wow, that's really important. People never do this. Most people never do this. You can definitely come up with 10 ways to improve your finances. Some of them may not be great. Same with all these steps. But some may be brilliant. You might be surprised. Day number 4. I'm saying step number 4. No, this is day. This is over 10s. Okay. Day number 4. This is to prove to you how creative you actually are. And the amazing ideas that are within you already. Day number 4. Write out 10 ideas for improving your enjoyment of work. You can definitely find ways to improve your enjoyment of work, especially if it's not enjoyable. You can definitely think about it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You'll definitely come up with some ways to improve the quality of your work day. Day number 5, write out 10 ideas for creating smartphone apps. Go to one of the app stores and whatever phone or device you use and see what apps people are creating. Apps are just programs that overcome problems and things that are useful. Sure, you can come up with 10 ideas of your own. Just see on the app stores what sort of things that people are creating. Put your phone aside and come up with your own ideas. It doesn't matter if other people you find later that other people have already created apps for that. That proves you're really creative, But just do this and see what comes. Now, day number 6, write out 10 ideas to have more fun each day. Life can get stale, and you have the ability to change that. Everybody does, or just let things go on autopilot. Come up with 10 days to have more fun each day. This will enrich your life enormously. Day number 7, write out 10 ideas that could progress your career more quickly. Wow. 10 ideas to progress your career more quickly. You definitely are capable of coming up with 10 ideas. Squeeze them out of your mind. Most of them may be not great. One or two may be life changing. Okay. Day number at the end of actually it's 7 days. 7 days. So at the end, but 10 ideas each day. 10 ideas each day. That's 70 ideas. Wow. So at the end of just 1 week, you will be amazed by the number of great ideas you have squeezed out of your mind. And your ideas are what lead to your success, your freedom, and your wealth. Your ideas. So think about this. What if you were to block out in your calendar every week just 30 minutes, just 30 tiny minutes every week to brainstorm new ways to improve your life? How might your life change by this time year, I think, pretty dramatically. And you have these ideas within you. So that's the technique number 3. Techniques number 4 to 10. I demonstrated these, I think it was last month. All these amazing devices that enable you to tap into your subconscious mind, to tap into your intuition. I talked about all these devices literally get you into a relaxed, focused, receptive state where you can tap into limitless ideas that lie within you. And these methods are meditation. I'm not going to go into these in detail. We did them last month, or maybe it was the month before. I think it was last month. Meditation, biofeedback, brainwave sensing technology, light and sound technologies, electrocranial stimulation, and self-hypnosis. So those are so effective. They've been used by millions of people all around the world simply because they work. And they're such a simple way of tapping into amazing creativity within you. Amazing solutions and answers. I mean, for instance, meditation. I mean, there have been so many, countless studies into meditation and the positive effects, beneficial effects of meditation. But people who meditate regularly are much more creative. Much more creative and have a very, much more centered, much more peaceful, calm inside, much more relaxed under stressful situations, but they are much more likely to be pretty much permanently connected to their inner wisdom, this creativity that lies within us. Not just my thoughts, this is scientifically proved. Okay, so how to be 10 times more productive. That's all 10 ways to tap into your own inner creativity, your creative inner genius. Pick one of them, test it today, test it this week. Commit to yourself that you'll test one of these, choose the one, and by the way, you can print out all the a PDF document of all the slides I'm sharing today. So if you're frantically taking notes, put away your pen and paper and just watch this, because you can print this out at the end, okay? So just, it's better. I find that when I know there's going to be a printout later on that will stimulate my memory of what was discussed, it's just I can really focus on the words and not lose anything, because I'm writing things down. Because when I write things down frantically, I do miss some important stuff. Okay, so how to be 10 times more productive. There are simple ways to get 10 times more done while dramatically reducing stress. Remember I said earlier, minimum effort, maximum result. That's what it's all about. So, 1 second. Yeah, so literally right now, you see this picture here. This guy, hands coming out of the TV. Literally, we are living in the age of distraction. Everything's distracting and vying for our attention. We are constantly being distracted from what's really important in life. So it's no wonder people just end up living mediocre lives. There's been no time in human history where there's been such an explosion of knowledge and information, but we're constantly being distracted. There's just too much, there's overload. And the things that are really important, most people never really see them, you know. So social media, TV, phones, the internet, we're being distracted all the time. But all these tools can be great for education. Maybe not social media, but, you know, online learning. But that's how we use technology. Technology is neither positive nor negative. It's just a tool. But this influences can be very negative, or they can be really positive. Okay? So, the age of distraction. And the fact is, we only get 24 hours in a day. We cannot create more time. We can't create more time. But we can minimize our distraction and maximize the time, or use our time more efficiently and effectively in a way that's far more fulfilling, okay? So we can only really, what I'm saying is we can only change the way we do things during that 24 hours. And wasting time sabotages people's chances of success. This is fact. Wasting time sabotages people's chances of creating the better things in life, okay? So I really believe that it's possible to achieve more in the next 12 months than you have in the past 12 years. I'm working on a project right now that in the next 12 months I should achieve more than I have in my entire lifetime. So I'm my own guinea pig here. I'm testing this for myself because I've seen progress, 12 years of progress in a single year. I've seen that in my own life. I know this can be done. I know this can be done. So, I mean, this sounds really stressful, but it's not. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. Everyone likes a bit of TV. I watch a bit of TV, not very much. But thing is, you might think, you watch TV to relax, but the studies have found that when you're watching TV, you're actually in a slightly stressed state. You're actually in a slightly stressed state. It's not as relaxing as you think it might be. It's not quite as relaxing as it may seem. But anyway, and really, stress is the #1 contributor to serious illness. This is also fact. Lots of studies have shown this, that it's known as the biggest killer today. Not directly, but if you're in a state of stress all of the time, and that goes on for a long period of time, it how your body operates. It releases all these toxins. Your body doesn't repair itself, and all sorts of chronic conditions can evolve from that. Okay, so the fact is, there are simple yet powerful ways to progress all your goals faster while reducing stress and dramatically improving your life. Okay? Minimum effort, maximum result. Okay? So this leads into high performance. What is high performance? Well, first of all, this is Brendan Burchard. A great guy, I know him. I've spoken on his stage a couple of years back. And he's the founder of the High Performance Institute. He's actually the most influential and followed personal development trainer in history. Extraordinary guy. Very ordinary, but very extraordinary. Amazing mind. But he founded the High Performance Institute that studied hundreds of thousands of high performers. Hundreds of thousands of highly successful people at the tops of their game. To find, are there any common factors? Common habits, tools, strategies that they adopt that have enabled them to be so successful. And the fact is, there are. And there are specific things that they do. So high performance has been scientifically proved to work. These strategies, tools and techniques work for everyone if they use them. Okay, so what is it? Well, high performance, it is not peak performance. High performance means excelling and succeeding above and beyond standard norms consistently over the long term. Consistently over the long term. Well, a lot of people, when they hear the words high performance, they think of, peak performance, athletes. And yeah, athletes have to get into a peak performance state to run a marathon, but they can't sustain that. Nobody can. But you can operate in a way that is consistent over the long term, that enables you to be more successful consistently, long term. Okay, not sudden peak and then a trough. No, consistency. Managing your energy, managing your health, managing your brain power, dramatically reducing stress. Okay, so high performers, people who use these strategies, tools and techniques that I share every month, and will in a moment, they have greater energy, fulfillment, aliveness and joy. They are masters of productivity and time management. They know how to master their physiology and boost their energy. And using literally special techniques, very simple tools that only take a couple of minutes to boost your energy and dramatically reduce stress, boost your mind power and your focus while dramatically reducing stress and burnout. And most high performers do energization breaks every 60 or 90 minutes, depending on you, what you want, in your work day, in your lifestyle. But most people start the day with maximum energy, hopefully, after they've dragged themselves out of bed and had a few coffees. But then we lose energy as we go through the day, particularly when we change focus. When we change from one task to another, we lose a little bit of energy along the way. But what if you could replenish that energy every 60 to 90 minutes of the day? At the end of the day, you wouldn't be burnt out. You'd feel much more aliveness during the day. You'd be much more focused, much more productive. You get a lot more done. You feel much better about yourself at the end of the day, and you still have more energy for your family. So these things are so easy to do by doing these special energization breaks, and I share them frequently. And the high performers are more effective and influential because they use specific strategies that help them be more effective and influential, and they achieve their goals faster and are more successful. This is what high performance is all about. So the high performance coaching model, you may have seen this before if this is not your first time. We experience these things: clarity, energy, courage, productivity and influence by mastering these things: productivity, persuasion, psychology, physiology, presence and purpose. And every month we dip into one of these boxes, one of these subjects, and we return to each one of them, or some of them, twice during the year from a different perspective and a deeper level. Okay, so high performance coaching, productivity questions. Massive transformations can take place in your life when you ask yourself certain questions and you're truthful to yourself in your replies. Questions are the starting point of all change because they make you think about things more deeply, make you consider things you may not have considered before. So questions are the starting point of everything. So first of all, when was a time in your life when you were most productive? Fill in the blank. Number two, how did you get so much done at that time? What was happening? Why? How come you got so much done? Number three, where in your personal life do you feel you're not productive enough, and why? Number four, where in your professional life do you feel you're not productive enough, and why? Don't underestimate the power of questions. People who ask the right questions can experience amazing things in life. By not asking questions, we don't get answers to what we need. Number five, if you could only improve one or two of these, what would they be? Number six, what could you start doing to improve these areas? I need some water. To your very good health. Okay. Number seven, what do you really feel is most important in your mission or in your goals right now? Number eight, are you moving towards it at the pace you really want? So, time for some self-reflection. And in a previous session, we explored the clarity chart and your success markers. And we'll dip into them again because they're important. First of all, clarity chart, 9 words to maintain your day-to-day clarity. These are 9 words you choose for yourself and you repeat to yourself and literally embed them in your subconscious mind by repetition. So first of all, regarding self, the 3 words that will now define the best of who I am and that I will use to guide my personal life, including my thoughts, include, fill in the blanks. My own ones are motivating, inspiring and empowering. I need to be, because of the nature of what I do, I need to be motivating, I need to be inspiring, I need to be empowering. And I look at these words, they pop up on my phone every few hours, a little reminder, an alarm, and I tap these using tapping, which I share frequently. They're a way of installing these commands into my subconscious mind to be these things. So you will have your own 3 words for self, okay? So interaction, how do you want to interact with other people? The 3 words that will now define and guide how I will engage and treat others whom I meet in life, including my loved ones and strangers, include, you need to come up with your own. Mine are, I need to be caring, I need to be attentive, and I need to be appreciative. Those are the 3 that I've chosen for me. Yours may be different. And success markers, okay? The 3 words that will now remind me of what it is that made me most successful and will make me even more successful include, you fill in the blanks, and everyone's successful at something. Everybody's successful at something. So what are the qualities, what are the 3 words that you want to choose to guide you to be more successful? Mine are clarity, determination, and consistency. Those are 3 things that have enabled me to become very successful. I am very clear on my goals. I am very determined, and I'm very consistent. So I chose those words to keep those qualities strong and dominant in my life. So I tap these in like clarity, determination, consistency, clarity. There's various tapping points. I repeat those, and literally I'm embedding instructions into my subconscious mind to be or become those or enhance those qualities, okay? Very important. So keep yourself on track. Set phone reminders, like I say. And if you combine this with the 3-minute Qigong routine with tapping, which I also, if you look at previous live trainings, you'll see these tapping techniques and these Qigong sessions, very, very simple. It only takes 2 to 3 minutes. If you do this every 60 or 90 minutes or thereabouts during the day, it can have profound effects on your life. Profound effects. So that's clarity chart. So productivity questions, more questions to ask yourself. Are you still doing these practices to make you most successful? If you've already been using those clarity chart, those 9 words. And what distractions or competing interests seem to keep you from getting more done? Once you become clear on what this, is holding you back, you can do something about it. Number 3, how could you minimize these distractions? You could definitely come up with ways. You have this creative inner genius. Number 4, you need to transform distraction into focusing on your mission. This is so true. This is so true. Unfortunately, the average American, and I'm sure it's the same in other countries, watches something like 4.5 hours of TV every day. Or is it 6? It's something huge. But anyway, it amounts, if you add it all together, it amounts to 16.5 years watching TV non-stop, day and night, 24/7, 365, for 16 years of your life. What? I mean, TV, yeah, great, but my goodness, if anyone were to watch just 1 hour less each week, or each day, particularly, and use that time to create amazing lives, how different the world would be, okay? So you need to transform distraction into focusing on your mission. So you don't get more time, but you can manage it a bit better. And what I would suggest is just getting a pen and paper, and at the beginning of the day, every 30 minutes, write down what you did in the previous 30 minutes, just briefly, just to get an idea of how you're using your time, or even just every hour. At the end of one day, you'll find all sorts of opportunities during the day where you could have eliminated things that are just a waste of time, or that aren't fulfilling, or where you're working on someone else's agenda rather than your own. Great way of reflecting and modifying. So Daily Success Planner. This is in my book, The Most Powerful Goal Achievement System in the World, so you're probably familiar with it. So basically, this is a way of progressing all your goals more quickly. Progressing all your goals a little bit every day. Or projects, or anything that you're working on. In your personal life or your professional life. So first of all, projects. List the 5 things I must do to move each of these projects forward. Okay, so first of all, project 1, project 2, project 3, okay? So it could be goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, or whatever it is, the things that are most important to you right now in your life that you need to progress, that you need to move towards. And underneath each of these projects or goals, write down the 5 biggest things you must do to move each one of these forwards, or to move towards them, okay? Now, On the left-hand side of the page, underneath that, once you've done that, write down a list of the people that you need to contact today about your project or goals. And on the right-hand side of the page, write out 5 people, or well, as many people as you want, that you're waiting to hear back from. You might need to send them a reminder and say, hey John, or hey Mary, you know, you didn't get back to me with that new logo. You know, when can you get it to me? So reminders, okay? And then at the very bottom of the page, the priorities for today. These are the main things you must complete today, no matter what. So write out the main things I must complete today, no matter what, are these. Simple tool, but using it every day enables you to move all your projects ahead more quickly, achieve all your goals faster. I find my own planner doesn't change much from day to day or even week to week, but month to month it does a lot as new projects come on board. But a lot of these things don't change that much, but just doing it every day, having your projects along the top and the people you're waiting, these things change a lot. You know, the people I'm waiting, I need to contact today, and the people I'm waiting to hear back from, and the priorities for the day. These things change most days, okay? These change a little bit less, but it'll help you move towards your goals so much more quickly and effectively. So that's the Daily Success Planner. Time blocking. Nearly finished now. We'll be going to questions and answers in a moment. So, time blocking for a dramatic increase in productivity. I need more water. To your very good health. Oh, that's good. So, block time is a focus management approach that requires blocking out significant amounts of time to advance or complete a major project in your life. So it requires you to get clear on a major dream and schedule real time to leap towards it. When doing time blocking to progress any project, eliminate all distractions. Turn off your phone, social media, and make sure you are not disturbed so you can have total focus and be at your most creative, so you can make the fastest progress possible. And the goal here is minimum effort, maximum result. And I do this when I'm writing a book. I do all these things. In fact, I do these things a lot. But particularly when I'm writing a book, I reserve 2 hours in the morning for writing. Nothing else. Do not disturb sign on the door. Well, I don't, but people know not to disturb me. And don't even look at email at the beginning of the day. Don't look at any websites or anything until I've done my productive writing time. And you know what? Eliminating distractions and reserving time, block time to progress your goals. Wow! You know, you can write a great book in a month. You can create amazing things by this focused, time-focused approach. So the goal is minimum effort, maximum result. And let's look at a great way to do this effectively. Okay, so first of all, time blocking questions. Below, as I say, you'll get the PDF of all the slides to print out, so you don't need to copy this down right now. Below, detail a dream you have and spend some time answering the questions and planning your block time. Dream number 1, or goal number 1. A dream project I'd love to start or complete is, fill in the blank. Number 2, the reason this project is a dream of mine and I'm committed to it is, that's your big reason why. Number 3, if I'm ever going to make this dream come true, I'd have to make these things my priority. Fill in the blank, get clear on this. Number 4, a block of time I'm going to dedicate to this dream or project is, fill in the blank. And this can be a daily block time or a block of time that's several days or even weeks long, where you focus on nothing else but this project. And, you know, like writing a book in the next 2 weeks. And if you're doing nothing else and you're just solely writing a book, you could write a great book in 2 weeks. May need a bit of editing, you know, but you can do amazing things in just 2 week period when you're completely focused on that one activity, okay? But for most people, it could be over several weeks 2 hours here, 1 hour there, but to schedule that time, okay? And repeat this process for any other dreams you have. Apply this to all your goals, all your projects, all your dreams. And to create the reality, this is very important, to create the reality where I will have this much block time to complete the project, I will need to make these adjustments in my life. Write out the adjustments that you need to make in your life to make sure that all this becomes possible. Questions are the start of everything. Okay, how to win back time. Almost at the end. Time is your most valuable possession. You never get more of it, and the fact is the only thing you can do is to spend it more wisely. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, the average American spends 5 hours and 4 minutes watching TV every day. That's 1,849 hours each year, or the equivalent of watching TV 24/7, 365 for 16 years of their life. And I'm sure it's not just Americans. I'm sure it's most countries these days. Wow! How different would their lives be if they watched just 1 hour less TV and spent that 1 hour pursuing their goals in life? Drastically different, dramatically different. So I have a strong suggestion for you. Just for one day, take account of how you spend each hour of that day, and you may be very surprised how much time you could set aside by prioritizing your time better. And I mentioned this earlier, very important. So, a powerful focusing question, something that enables you to focus, and it's from the book, The One Thing. Ask yourself this frequently. What's the one thing I can do that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Whenever you want to achieve something, lots of ways you can get there. But if you ask yourself, what's the one thing that I can do so that I can progress towards it most quickly and even make other things unnecessary? You know, I did this a few years ago when publishing my first book that went on to become a bestseller, Unlock Gratitude Now. I asked myself, what's the one thing that I can do that by doing it, I can make this book a huge success? What's the one action I can take? And I thought, will I get a PR agent? Will I get somebody to do, will I get someone to do, will I do advertising at huge cost? And asking myself, what's the most effective way? And I came up, brainstormed some ideas, and the one thing that I found was the biggest bang for the buck was to reach out to radio stations right across the US. So I bought an email list of radio stations with the right contact names, and I only approached those radio stations that I felt would be interested, and I sent an email to, I don't know, a few hundred, and I got stacks of interviews lined up. Cost me almost nothing, just the cost of the email list, I don't know, $300 or $400. Wow, the effect was as good or better than spending tens of thousands of dollars on media promotions and PR people and all that. And it only took about an hour of my time, maybe 2 hours. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so what's the one thing I can do that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? So what have we covered today? Moving to questions and answers. I'm going to go back in front of my desktop computer in a moment, and you can ask me anything about today's training or anything that you think I might be able to help you with. So first of all, what did we cover today? Success and wealth are created through ideas. Everything that's ever been created started as an idea in the mind of a single human being. And scientists and inventors tune into new ideas and inventions, and you can too. Your mind can tap into unlimited creativity. I shared with you 10 ways to access your creative inner genius, and also I showed you a way how to double your productivity while reducing stress, and how to maintain clarity every day. And I shared with you just a moment ago a daily success planner to achieve your goals faster, and how to block time for massive, radical productivity. This is not about burning out, it's the opposite. Minimum effort, maximum result, reduction in stress, huge progress towards achieving your goals. And I shared with you also how to win back time, even if you have very little free right now, okay? And also the powerful one thing focusing questions. So I hope you found this helpful. Resources, you can print this out, as I said, if you want to look into biofeedback and light and sound machines and all those sort of things, mindplace.com, brainwave sensing headsets, neurosky.com. Anyway, everything's there in the PDF for you to download. So over to you, questions and answers now. So ask me anything. Use this opportunity to ask me anything about today's session or anything that's related to the mind, human consciousness, your subconscious mind, how to improve your life. I'm here for you, and take this opportunity. And if you are not watching this live, most people watch the replay because the live session doesn't suit people's work schedules. So most people watch the replay, and you can still send me an email. Just go to my website and send a question on the contact us or contact me page, and I will get back to you. So thank you very much. This camera will blank out for a moment, and so will the microphone, and my webcam on my desktop computer will spring to life, and I'll answer your questions there. So this camera will go blank for just a moment. Stay with me, don't go away, bear with me, 1 sec.
Okay, I hope you found that helpful. Hope you found the session interesting and valuable. The first thing I'm going to do is paste into the chat box the slides. So if you want to download the slides from today's session, you should be seeing them in the chat box at the right hand side of the page. 1 second, I'm just making sure, just looking at my laptop here. Yep, are they? Yes, they're there. Haha, you can just click on the link and you can download it. And just going to bring up something on screen here, and that says want to ask a question, use the chat box. So I'm here to answer your questions. So I'm just seeing if there's any questions coming in. Venkatesh says, sir, good evening in India. Good to see you, Venkatesh. Hope you're keeping very well. And there are, 1 second, and once again, yeah, download the slides. They're on the right hand side. I'm just going to get rid of those. Going to bring this up on screen here and answer your questions, or any that have come in so far. Any questions? Yes, there are a few. 1 second. I've got a big screen, like the one the one with the clicker. So I've got all sorts of things happening all over the screen in front of me here. So first questions from John. John says, can you suggest any good mind mapping software that are free? Thanks for the question, John. Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing is just to go to Google or your favorite search engine and just put in free mind mapping software. There are a lot. I mean, I think there's a Google extension. I don't know if it's still available. It's called, it used to be called, or probably still is, Coggle, C-O-G-G-L-E. Like Google, but only spelled with a C. Then there is Mind Mapple, Blue Mind, B-L-U-M-I-N-D. I don't know if these are all still available. X-Mind was a big one, X-M-I-N-D. I use, as I mentioned earlier, iMindMap Ultimate. iMindMap Ultimate. It's a great program, but it's no longer. They've kind of merged it into a whole collaboration suite for people, for, what would you say, businesses that work online and all their staff are working remotely. It's like a central hub. So I haven't really even looked at that since the last version of iMindMap Ultimate. But I love that program. I love that program. It's called Iowa, A-Y-O-A, Iowa. And I don't know what that means. Now, 1 second. Here we go. Another question. Yeah, This is from Monica. Hello, Monica. Hope you're keeping well. Dear Mike, how are you and your family doing these COVID times? Well, we're doing great. Fortunately, we're out, and thank you for asking. We're out in the countryside. I got out of the cities many years ago, over 20 years ago, and I traded the smog for the beautiful country air. And fortunately, we're all keeping very well because we're staying away from people. But about a month ago, I had to go to the dentist, so getting an implant, and the day after going to the dentist, now the dentist was in all the protective gear, so was I, except for my mouth was open, and unfortunately I got a text message came in on my phone 2 days later from the HSE. That's like the Irish organization that looks after all healthcare, saying that you have been exposed to someone who has COVID-19. I thought, oh no, who could that be? The only one possibility. So I phoned the dental surgery, and right enough, the dentist had COVID-19. He picked it up from his girlfriend, and they had no symptoms, but they tested positive. Oh no. So I had to sort of self-isolate for 2 weeks down one end of the house with the little cat that you saw earlier. He kept me company, and my family had to stay away from me. And you could think, why on earth didn't I go for testing? Well, if COVID-19 is anywhere, it's at the testing centers. So I wanted to stay away. So I ordered this test kit. Oh, it's crazy. It's supposed to be a 24-hour test kit. I ordered it on a Monday, as soon as I was started the self-isolating, and it didn't arrive until Friday. And then the courier, my whole family did the swab test, and the courier was supposed to pick it up between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. on the Friday, so we'd have our results the next day. But I got a call to say the courier wouldn't be there till Monday. Oh, by the time we got the results, the 14 days quarantine was over. But we were all like, thank goodness. Thank you for asking. Let me see. Block time, really very good concept. Thanks a lot. Very good. Something strange with my interface here. I can't see some of the chat, the bottom chat at the bottom. I can only see a little bit of it. That's why I had to bring that up on the screen. Any more questions? Yes, there are. Yes, there are. Jim says, you said that success isn't created through hard work, but hard work has been responsible for most of my successes. Is there an easier way I've been missing? Well, I work very hard as well. But, once again, Thomas Edison, he said that genius is 90% perspiration and only 10% inspiration. And that's, very true. But it's not necessarily the same. That's for genius. It's not necessarily the same for success. I mean, success, being really successful, it's not through hard work alone. It's by doing things in a certain way. It's by doing things in a certain way. So many people work extremely hard and they feel like failures. Very sad. Then there are people who, work fairly hard and they produce amazing results. So it's how we do things. I mean, there's no need to reinvent the wheel here in high performance training. And I always have a high performance section in this live training. It really is the fastest way to get to the next level, and it's been scientifically proved to work. These strategies, tools, and techniques that I share every month are scientifically proved to work. And it's the culmination of something like 300,000 high performers worldwide, 300,000 highly successful people worldwide being studied to find what are the common habits, shortcuts, tools, techniques they use to get ahead faster. And there are common tools, strategies, techniques and habits that they do adopt that have been the core of their success. And when anyone starts using those habits and tools and techniques, they'll be more successful. It's as simple as that. So fortunately, we're at a time in human history now that we know more about how the mind works and the brain works than any other time in history. And the advances in neuroscience, we know what works and what doesn't work in terms of habits and the way we think, and what things work and what things don't, which is amazing, you know. So yeah, obviously, if you're watching these live trainings just like TV and entertainment, or oh, nice, interesting idea, this is going to have no effect on your life at all. But if you test them, if you if you download the PDF file of the slides today, and you start answering those questions there for yourself, you don't have to send them to me, but if you questions are the starting point to change, questions you ask of yourself to highlight and to enable you to see exactly where you're at right now and what adjustments you may need to make to improve things. So this is all provable, you know, but it's what, you know, what you put in terms of time and energy, you get out 100-fold. You know, it's a huge return on your investment of time. And testing. I'm a big believer in testing everything. Just don't believe everything you hear from anyone. Test it. Be skeptical, test it, demand results, and you may be amazed what can happen. So I hope that helps, Jim. Susan says, if I start tapping into my inner creativity more, could I also make major discoveries or invent new things? Or do you need to already have an inventive mind? I think that really depends on your starting point. You know, some people are more creative than others. But at the end of the day, we can all become more creative. We can all become a lot more creative. And I think it's a lot of it's becoming more intuitive, getting more in touch with this inner genius that we all have within us. Use the creativity exercises. I think there was 10 ways to tap into your subconscious mind today. Take up meditation if you're not doing it already. That's amazing way to be more creative. And in other sessions, I've talked about all these mind machines that I've experimented with since the 1990s. The brain tuner, and biotuner, and biofeedback equipment, and light and sound devices. All these things absolutely work, but it's, you know, it's when you are, no matter what level of creativity we have, we can always enhance it and strengthen that creativity muscle, as it were. So I hope that helps, Susan. Lynn says, you said that stress is the #1 killer these days. Is this really true? And how exactly can stress kill you? I work in a very stressful environment, and I'm stressed quite often. Is there anything I can do to reduce stress without jumping around in front of my work colleagues? Yeah, I think what you're referring to there is one of the qigong exercises I demonstrated a couple of months ago, and I'll be demonstrating it again before long because it's so important. You know, the tapping techniques and jumping up and down. Yeah, it can be. You can get some strange looks. People don't know what you're doing. But you know, there's lots of ways of combating stress, and but the reality is stress can lead to high blood pressure. It can lead to heart attacks, anxiety, depression, autoimmune conditions. This has all been scientifically proved. And when you're stressed all of the time, the body is flooded by chemicals that are harmful. Unfortunately. So ways to combat stress, a lot of ways. You know, as I say, the 60 to 90-minute, 2-minute, 3-minute energization breaks make a huge difference. Even if it's just getting up from your desk, if you work at a desk, and taking a breather for 2 minutes, going outside, or going to the bathroom, or making a cup of coffee or herbal tea or something. Even that break, just taking yourself out of the situation every so often, makes a huge difference. And strenuous exercise or regular exercise makes a huge difference. Learning to meditate, and I mentioned coffee there a moment ago. Sometimes cutting out coffee can help. If you're drinking a lot of coffee, that can really if you're in a stressful environment, that doesn't help really. So I hope that helps, Lynn. Um, who are your favorite mentors you listen to? Oh my goodness. Brendan Burchard must be one of them. Yeah, Brendan is one of them. Brendan's extraordinary. Wow. It's like he came out of nowhere. Blinding. Oh, he's incredible. I've actually spoken on his stage, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago. Actually, that was kind of intimidating. I spoke in front of 800 professional public speakers. It's the first time I was ever on stage, actually. And it went pretty good. You know, I felt comfortable. And Brendan's amazing. I've got to know him quite well. I've been in his mastermind group for several years, and been with him in all sorts of wonderful places. And he's an extraordinary human being. So yeah, Brendan is definitely one of the greatest mentors I've had in the latter years. He's helped me really to build my own platform. It would have been a lot harder without what I've learned from him. And of course, Napoleon Hill, Jack Canfield. There are so many mentors. I honestly feel that we should seek out the best and the best of the best, and every day read inspiring words, read something that reminds us of the potential we have within ourselves every single day, because you know we've as a human beings we have a tendency to close down if we're, especially in isolation, if we're not mixing with other remarkable people. And this is one of the greatest benefits I've ever had, is to join Brendan's mastermind group, because in that group there's about, I don't know, about 45 of us the first couple of years, and it was quite small, but a group of extraordinary human beings with massive vision to help many people and the ability to do so. And you know for me that really stretched my own possibilities within myself. I thought, wow, they're just ordinary people. If they can do it, I can do it. So I mean, when you're meeting and mixing with remarkable people, it really shows you, it really, for me, it stretched my realm of possibility enormously. That's what mentors do. That's the function of mentors. So always seek out the best. And yeah, Brendan's one of them, that's for sure. I think that's all. Any more questions? Last opportunity, going, gone. Any more? Really is the last opportunity? No, I think that's it for this one. But thanks so much for joining me. And stay safe, stay positive, feed your mind every single day with inspirational material. And honestly, you can achieve anything you want. You can achieve anything you want. It all starts with a decision, clear goal, and baby steps. Every day, little step forward, only a little step forward. And all those little steps over time add up to a ginormous leap forward. And a year, 2 years down the road, you'll be astounded what you can achieve. So thank you, stay safe, and see you next month.